Hello. This is a behind the song video on how I made No Running Away. No running away, baby, it comes down to... And it's the first single off of a record that I spent the last year and a half or so making here at home in this 60 square foot home studio. I think it would be cool to kind of go through the process of how this song came to be. So, if you don't know who I am, my name is Tyler Meacham. I am a singer and songwriter. I live in Richmond, Virginia. I have a band. We tour when we can. And we would love for you to come see us and follow us. And if you like the music, please share it with your friends. Now that we got the advertising out of the way. I believe I started writing No Running Away a little bit after my first EP came out, which was in November 2019. It started as just kind of this piano idea. First of all, here's a clip of what it started as. I started writing this song. I was thinking of how my relationship had transformed over the last few years. Prior to us dating, I hadn't been in a really long-term relationship at all. And so there was a lot of fear for me. I had been heartbroken a lot, and I had been through situations that left me really, really struggling with anxiety and abandonment and all these kind of nasty things that prevent us from getting close to other people. And it took a lot of work and therapy, honestly, to unlearn some of those things and learn that, like, if someone says they love you and they're sticking around and they say they're not going anywhere, they probably mean it. Like, they're not lying to you. And so No Running Away is a song that I wrote about my journey out of that. And it's something that I still kind of struggle with and I'm still, working through. It was this really wonderful feeling of realizing that there is somebody really good out there for me. So yeah, No Running Away. It's about committing to work through the demons that kind of prevent us from loving wholeheartedly. I did most of that writing just listening to those voice memos and kind of running it down. So I don't really have a recording of like the song when I first wrote it. This was an idea. So you can imagine the song being called Ma, na, 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 ma. Also in the writing process, there was this little idea, which ended up being kind of what we did with the guitars. Walls are honest. This is where you get, like, oh, only had 2 licks, apparently. So that is where it started. From there, I believe I started a demo session. So it probably would have started off like this. Walls are honest. No one ever took me by surprise. Taught myself to never catch an eye. Showed off on my scars so many times. So it's very simple. It's very like acoustic sounding, like really gentle. Not running away. Yeah, it's not a whole lot going on here. Chip added this bass line. Supernatural push into the fray. I'm gonna solo that. I knew that, like, when we started working on this, I wanted this kind of thing. Like, I wanted a really weird synthy bass or even, like, an actual synth bass. But he actually played that and just ran it through the 1981 Inventions drive pedal, I'm pretty sure. So, yeah, so this is what we got. It's fine for a demo, right? We started adding some guitar ideas. This was an interesting one, which ended up on the record. I remember one day Chip was working in the studio on something and I was just hanging out on the couch with this session up. I was trying to figure out how to give it a little bit more life. So I started playing with some MIDI synth tracks and got this idea. Pretty much 2 layers of synth. One of them is like really overdriven. Let's see. Yep. Some pedals on there. Nothing crazy. I wasn't really into the external plugins thing quite yet. And so this demo is what kind of sat for, I think, like 6 months. And the idea was like, oh, like, maybe we're working on an album. Maybe we're doing demos so that eventually we'll go to a studio. And of course, COVID happened. So what we did for pretty much everything on this record, these ideas started as demos. And we took the demo file and we just kept building onto it. I don't think we really started over on anything. I think we were just like, all right, we like pieces of this. Let's migrate it into a session where we're actually going to record it for real. Let me open up the actual session for No Running Away. We've got drums, that we recorded live here in Richmond at a studio called Go West. My friend Brandon recorded drums on pretty much the whole record, and he's also in my band, and he's awesome. Here's a little clip. Chip, of course, plays bass on everything. So we've got bass added in. He actually recorded this here in the studio. One idea that we got really early on was the idea of like the beginning of the song being just bass and drums and synth padding, and he's just kind of pulsing, and it sounds like, you know, a synthesizer, even though it's a bass guitar. We started adding in some electric guitar ideas. Chip and Nate both collaborated on these. There's a really cool piece that I believe Chip came up with. This craziness. It just sounds nasty, but like I heard that the first time. It's like I believe it's a guitar with like the digital octavizer in Logic, so like not a very good plugin, and then run through a tape delay and like really modulated and really distorted. All of this. No running away. Baby, it comes down to time and place. All of this works together really well, but there was nothing for me that was giving it glue or energy, and it was really frustrating for a long time because we cut the acoustic guitar out, and for the longest time having like a rhythm guitar was what made it all feel good. It made it feel like it was kind of together, but I knew that it wasn't a song that necessarily needed acoustic guitar. It needed something else. I tried a rhythm electric guitar. That was too much. So I kind of just like left it untouched for a while and was really frustrated. Until one day I happened upon a tweet from Jack Antonoff, who, if you don't know him, Jack Antonoff is a producer, and he is someone that I greatly admire. He tweeted out, though, that he was going to release a bunch of sample packs, and that they were free to use. You could put them in anything you're working on. And his thought behind it was like, he has access to a lot of outboard gear that, in general, music makers don't have access to. It's just expensive and it's rare. And he was like, while I have access to it, I'm going to record it and put this pack together. So we did. I hopped on this website, downloaded everything, and this song kind of cracked wide open for me. There were some drum loops that fit almost perfectly with like a little bit of retiming. So like, for example, you'll definitely hear this. So I heard that, retimed it to fit within this track. This is what gets added in.
Maybe it's the hardest thing we face. The high, thick skin of bleeding heart and something in the rain. So let a lover in without running away.
Love the way that sounded together. That was like, I remember playing that for Chip the first time and he was like, yeah, that's awesome. So one of the things that I also picked up from watching videos of Jack Antonoff kind of show how he makes his songs is that in a lot of his songs he puts like transitions or explosions. I mean, literally explosions. And I really like the idea of that. And so I tried it myself. That sound in the choruses. That's fun. And then also started adding some other transitional pieces. It's a big rev sound. That's how that works together. And then this is one more ARP that I grabbed from that sample pack. So when you hear the chorus come in, it all sounds like together. Some supernatural push into the fray. That is pretty much how we got from point A to point B. Then we sent it off to mixing, so this session is obviously all the stems have been kind of bounced in place and merged and cleaned up so that they are perfect. Of course, it turns into this.
I know it's something had to change to have you hold my heart, no running away.
Running Away. That's how it was made pretty much in this studio. It was made at Go West Studios. A lot of my favorite people are on it. I'm really excited for you to hear what else was made over the last year because I think I've gone on like kind of a journey of growth and development as an artist. But there was like so much frustration and agony over so many of these songs and little tiny pieces of them. And it's nice to kind of go back and reflect on this session. It's been a few months since I've looked at it. And it feels really good. It's something that I'm really excited to share. So if you haven't, go listen to No Running Away. It is on all streaming services. Make sure you follow on Spotify or whatever music platform you use so that you can keep up with my music. If you live in the United States, come see us at a show. We're supposed to be on the road soon. Like, keep an eye out on all the socials, and I'll see you soon. Okay, I forgot to say before I finish the video to let me know if you have any questions about any of this stuff. I would love to chat about it. I know I didn't talk a ton about signal chains or microphones or anything like that, but if you have questions, I'm happy to answer them in the comments. Okay, thank you again for watching. I'll talk to you soon.